ancient footprints are everywhere. You can almost believe that you're seeing your bubble on a cold dark night on the Spanish Fair. Night in the Coliseum. Wasting time. He's from the Vatican. I could only stand to see him. It sure has been one hell of a time. Got to hurry on back to my hotel room, where I got me a date with a pretty little girl from Greece. Yes, she promised she'd be right there with me when I paint that masterpiece. Sailing around the world in a dirty gondola. Oh, to be back in a land of Coca-Cola. I left the road and pulled into Brussels on a plane ride so bumpy that I almost died. Clergymen in uniform and young men pulling muscles. And it sure has been one hell of a ride. Newspaper man eating candy. Whoa. Had to be held back by a big police. Someday everything is gonna be different when I paint that masterpiece. Train wrecks rolling through the back of my memory. I ran on the hilltop, following a pack of wild geese. Someday, everything is sounding like a beautiful when I paint that masterpiece. When I paint that masterpiece.
Points?
Yeah. What are the points that you gotta
Okay,
revoke
what did
your
I need?
access?
What did I need?
You
I
need
need a room. I
right?
needed
You
a
got
room because I was
119.
staying. Oh, wait, because I was staying.
Hospitality suite,
Okay,
119,
wait,
okay?
hold on.
Double
You want
bed,
to know
right?
why I needed a room?
To sleep in.
I always, whenever I see Larry with the accountant with the thing,
Yeah.
I always ask him for per diem.
Well, he can't do it.
I know.
Okay. Now you got a car.
He's got the money though.
New times to pay for the car, right? Yeah.
Per
that's
diem.
it, yeah. 2 men.
How many rhinestones in your pin?
I don't know. I got this. These aren't real.
Access. You need access to.
Access. I need access to talk to people, right? Like
Yeah, but
you were my
I mean,
friend.
Yeah, I'm your friend. Yeah.
You were my friend. I couldn't talk to you for a week on it, too,
I know.
right?
I know. You hardly even talk to me on the telephone.
There it goes.
What's happening, man?
Oh, we're just a little pinball here. Called the Big Valley. Pinball machine. Oh, there it goes. All right. Watch this. Now, this is... Oh. My father used to play pinball. This little diner every day, man. It was a nickel then. He loved to play pinball. I couldn't believe it.
Where'd you live?
That was Providence, Rhode Island. I grew up in Providence, Rhode Island, until I was 17. Lived with my family. Then I went to New York. First time I went to New York, I took a check of my father's and wrote a bad check for $25 and took the Greyhound bus to 42nd Street. I was scared to death. I couldn't believe it. I never left 42nd Street. I got back on the Greyhound bus after 4 hours and went home. But I bought The Myth of Sisyphus, which was a wonderful experience. Took it home and read it to my mother. Chapter 13 was called, oh, it wasn't The Myth of Sisyphus, is existentialism and human emotions. Chapter 15 called The Whole, it's about regression. I read it to my mother. My mother's comment was, well, don't try to get back in there now. That's when I knew I was no longer having a dialogue with my family. That makes any sense. 1,000. Oh, man. You gotta be keen to play pinball. Yeah, then I went back to be an actor at Herbert Bergdorf Studios when I was 19 years old, which was on Bank Street. And I went, Bank Street's the West Village, and I started walking east one day and ran into McDougal Street. And about 7 o'clock at night, I went to this place called the Gaslight, because I heard about it, you know. Jack Kerouac read poetry there, and Allen Ginsberg, and all those people. And it was famous, so I hung around till it opened up and paid my money and went inside and sat down. And it was absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. I didn't see anything like it in my life. A guy named John Brent came out wearing a black cape and a top hat and read a poem called Bible Land, which was hysterically funny. I mean, I was laughing for days after I heard that. I'd never seen minds like that in my life.
How'd you know enough to laugh?
Oh, it was so funny. How could you not laugh, man? I mean, Jesus Christ. The things he said, that's 11 years ago. I think he said came true. Like he had a place called Bible Land, and it was an advertisement, a poem at like lunch in the Garden of Gethsemane. You know, dip the string and find the golden ring. Break the tablets and win a golden calf. I mean, how can you? I was laughing hysterically. I mean, and he was like, you know, a beat poet. And then there was a guy named Hugh Romney, who later became Wavy Gravy. He was a poet too. And on weekends they'd have poetry readings, and it was just that tourists would come and folk singers, right? And the poets would get up like and rage and rant and have fits. They'd have John Brent and Romney. They would have nervous breakdowns, like they would come out with a black book, you know, with rice paper, and open their book and start to read their poetry. You know, and the rice paper is very delicate, and they'd very delicately begin to read, you know. I was staring at my mother's grave when the fire hydrant began, you know, things like that. And people would talk, naturally, the tourists, and, well, if I can think of something. And then they would go into hysterical temperamental fits as part of the act to entertain the audience, you know what I mean? Because after they finished their poetry readings, the only money they got was to pass a basket. To the audience, the guy would say, well, you know, none of us are getting paid here. The only way we get any money is to pass a basket. So if the audience liked a performance of a poet or, you know, they would pass the basket. You know, you could make $200-300 a night, right? That's a lot of money. You know, so they'd have temperamental fits, you know, just to help the show along. You know, like, shut up, I can't work if you won't listen to my poetry. I'm leaving, you know, and they'd get really upset, and the audience would get very intimidated, and then they'd go on and read, "Ah, Sybil, I saw you on 32nd Street," you know. Things like that. It was very funny. That's when I met Bob.
come you're in such a hurry? Any man that's trading a T-bird for a cheap bike, you're in a hurry. What's the matter? You running from the law?
I am the law.
This young man has been blessed by God with a brilliant and fantastic mind. This young man has much more to offer than is apparent on any first impression. My name is Tony Curtis, and I have a speech defect, coupled with a bad equilibrium, stemming from 12 electroshock treatments that were unfortunately given me in the past. I was brutally beaten and sadistically mistreated by very inhuman correctional officers and held against my life for 3 years and 3 months after my original sentence in prison. I know that I'm very intelligent, creative, spontaneous, and talented. This part's written by a different person. I am unable to write legibly. If you would be kind enough to hand print my poems as I dictate them precisely to you, I would be appreciative. Why don't you listen enough to find out, asshole? In spite of my physical condition, I have a photographic memory, and I am able to recite nearly all my poems by heart, and I haven't any coordination as a result of the electroshock treatments. But my mind and thoughts are so crystal clear. Writing sweet poems is primarily the way I express myself. My feelings and my realness and my love for people, I thank you sincerely for reading this. P.S. My cerebellum has been seriously injured. Note, writing sweet poems is my only source of income. I sell poems for only $3. That's my man over here, Tony Curtis. Excuse me, I have something to read here. It's something very important. What's your name, man?
Tony's cousin.
I love you, honey. Well, let's play it cool, baby.
Do I have to leave now?
How about a nice hit?
Bobby.
Let him use your guitar, Bobby. Let him your guitar. Fill your cigarette.
The hat.
Here.
No, we don't just give it to stations, and see what happens. We have to, hype them on and do something special.
Who's got that plan?
What?
Yeah.
I mean, if we're going to do this... Yeah, no, I'm just making a different statement. If we're going to make a social statement here, then it's not going to have an effect unless it's heard. And we certainly will, it's not going to be heard unless, it gets on the radio. And, you don't get word of mouth. You might get word of mouth, but, you don't have the normal AM problems with. Remember, we once had a problem with one of your other records.
Someday he talk to Elijah.
It's raining really hard outside. We always remind you this time that driving a car at high speeds in rainy weather can cause your tires to rise a little bit off the pavement, and this is called hydroplaning, and it seriously impairs your stopping ability. So the ALA and us remind you to slow down in rainy weather. If somebody told you Bob Dylan was coming to Providence, you probably wouldn't believe them, but they are. He is, along with Joan Baez, Ramblin' Jack Elliott, and Bob Newirth. And it's called the Rolling Thunder Review.
And one day a wealthy customer bought the Indian maid. He took her oh so far away, but oh, Kalijah stayed. Kalijah.
And how are you gonna get where you're going? You're just gonna...
I'm just gonna keep going. I don't know. I'll just find some place to go.
Girls looking for a ride? I'm hauling cinder block up to St. Johnsbury, Vermont. Where you heading?
You going to Vermont?
I know you're looking for a ride. I've been sitting here for the last half hour.
I'm looking for a ride, yeah. She has one. I'm looking for one.
I'm going up to Vermont.
Vermont?
You're really going to Vermont.
Yeah, I'm heading for St. Johnsbury.
That's quite, you just heard us say she was going to Vermont, and all of a sudden you're going to Vermont.
It's just one of those little coincidences.
Can you wait 5 minutes?
Sure.
Good.
I got time.
So wait, you gonna go now or you gonna stay?
You go anywhere near Arizona?
Not exactly, but I can tell you how to get there.
Okay, how do I get there?
You get a trucker who'll pick you up, yeah.
Can I trust him?
Sure, they're good people. Teamsters are good people. What do you think?
I'm not thinking.
Might be a big disappointment, you know.
It's a free ride.
It's the only kind we can afford. So she might as well chance it.
Well, this girl's looking for a ride in your truck.
Why don't we go?
Uh-huh.
I got room for one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You sure we can trust you, huh?
Don't I have an honest face?
We're waiting breathlessly for Bob Dylan and his review to arrive here in the lobby of the hotel. It's one of the most exciting occasions, and I think here they come.
Talk to him. Talk to him. It's gonna happen. No, talk to that guy right there. He knows. Hey. You really want to talk? You know, you want to talk to Bob. Is who you want to talk to?
Do I really?
Yeah. Bob's got a lot more to say about it than I do.
All right, I'll
talk
have a
to
little
Bob.
chat.
You'll recognize Bob when you see him. He's got a hat on.
You're not Bob.
I'm not Bob. Talk to me.
May I have a word with you?
That's not Bob. It's Bob.
May I just have a word with you?
He's a local. He's from the local.
You can have anything you want.
Hey, Ronnie.
Oh, that's very nice of you. We're doing this, and I want to know, are you somebody rather famous?
Bob Dylan.
Would you like to tell me what Bob Dylan is, the true, real Bob Dylan?
He's a hero of the highest order.
Why do you say that about yourself?
I know you've had this told to you 1,000 times by 1,000 different guys, but I want to tell you one more time. You're a lovely young lady. I don't have time to court or romance or tell you all those things you're supposed to tell young ladies. All I can say is you're good looking, and I'd like for you to run off with you. I got a little tour coming up. We're going to be on the road for maybe 30 or 40 days. And those 30 or 40 days, I can't promise you everything in the world, but I'll guarantee you'll have a good time. As simple as that. And I don't have time to take you out and wine you and dine you and do all the things you're supposed to tell young ladies, you know, of your caliber. But you are a lovely young lady. I'm not coming on strong. I'm not, you know, I don't want you to think I'm giving you some kind of con line, because I'm not. I'm just telling you up front. You are a lovely young lady, and I would like to be with you. And it's simple as that. I haven't got the world to offer you, but I can damn sure.
Just give me a moment.
I'm not, I don't mind playing second fiddle as long as it's on the front row. But you are lovely. I certainly wish you'd come, because we'll have some fun. We'll do things that kings and queens have never tried. You'll go back a much wiser young lady.
Wouldn't you rather be on the farm with me than on some rock and roll show?
Honey, that's where it's at. Rock and roll is the answer.
To what?
You live fast, you love hard, and you die young.
Well?
And you leave a beautiful memory. The farm, I was raised on a farm. I've milked them cows. I've been hitting the head with them cuckleburs and them Jersey's tails. I don't care nothing about that. I've done that. Rock and roll is the answer.
For you, not for me.
You'd love it, but you just try it. Don't knock anything till you try it, honey. Some things are good for you, some things are bad for you. But you try them all to find out which is good and which is bad. This is a chance for you to make a little money. You can't make any money on a farm. Maybe you can be happy if you're happy with the farm. But you're not going to be happy on the farm. I can tell by looking at you. You're not going to be happy on the farm, man. I mean, you know, for some people it's okay. But you know better. If you don't know any better, you're happy anywhere. But if you know better, you can't be happy, you know? You want things that a farm ain't never going to give you. You want things that I know what you want and what you need and what you deserve and what you should have.
Well, if you come down to the farm and have Daddy agree.
He's not going to agree, honey. I never had a daddy agree with me in my life. Daddies don't agree with me for some reason. They just don't understand. I'm carrying around half an ass full of buckshot now because of them daddies on them farms. I was the only rock and roller in the South that went around with chapped lips and siphoning that gas all the time, you know. Honey, let's just go. Call your dad.
Nowhere to go.
We'll go. Just call up your dad, tell him you'll be back in a month. If you don't like it in a month, I'll fly you back, that's all.
I have to have my father's approval.
Well, he's not going to approve. Son, I was turned down by the Ku Klux Klan, so he's certainly not going to approve of me.
There's no security out there on the rock and roll stage.
There's no security anywhere.
They can catch on fire at any moment, and
honey,
there's nothing left.
The world is ready to explode. It may go tomorrow. You can't say what's going to happen tomorrow.
I'd rather go on a farm.
Well, if you got to go, no matter difference where you're going to go. Let's go having fun. Let's go making love. Let the world explode.
I want to go in God's country when I go.
Well, listen, all the country's God. He owns it all, honey. Not just the farm. He owns the cities. God owns it all. And when he decides for it to go, he's not going to care where we are.
Yes, he is.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
He wouldn't put in my mind what's in my mind right now.
The whole world is seeking love. Marriages go wrong. Now, I'm married over 35 years, the same wife, sons and daughters. I work for my dollar, and I've spoken to people, Hollywood, the biggest stars, the bums of the Bowery. Why? Because I believe Jesus gave me such I could say like a baptism of love that I pray much for people as well as preach and teach. And I'm so thankful. It's an honor. It's the greatest honor for a man that he can speak for God.
What do you think God's work is?
Maybe Dylan is
There's a lot of breeds,
There's
like
a lot
I
of
said.
God.
There
Well,
are,
a lot of
wait a
God.
minute.
Pepper steak sandwich is a
There
God's
are
work,
breeds, right? There's an opera singer, she's a breed, an opera breed. There's a folk singer, folk breed. There's a delicatessen breed. For whatever you're doing, it's part of God's work. The way in which you do it, and the way in which you carry it, sheds light.
Love the two sisters, I love the young. Oh no, she was the creative one. the bare light bulb, the plaster did pound. Her sister and I in a screaming ground, and she in between, the victim of sound, soon shuddered like a child to the shadow. The wind knocks my window, the room it is wet. The words to say I'm sorry I never forget. I hope wherever she is gone and whoever she's met will be fully aware of how precious she is.
You have to try. I mean, hope is not there for nothing. Keep trying. Keep trying. I'm sure she will answer because I may be talking like a missionary. I really think that when there is nothing, when you have to, you love a woman and you have the impression that you've done everything for her, you know, and it comes to the point where you have the impression that you're being used also because she is so sure that whatever she does, you're going to be beside her. Well, you must ask yourself certain questions. Say, well, listen, unless I want to do that trip to the end, to be suicidal. Have you ever tasted rum on you? No. Smell it. We did a deal together. Stay good friends, see each other, and I enjoy so much to see her again because I see her again. We're good friends. See, I still have love this way. I have her presence. That's enough. She lives with another guy. We come and have dinner together. Just to have dinner for me now is okay. Because I found out there was no hope anyway. And I thought I was going to die. Just the idea that I was going to lose the person I like. But I thought of all means, tricks, you know, all sorts of things. To have the presence of the person besides you. And sometimes yourself, you have the impression you look like a fool. You do things that, honestly, you shouldn't do. You know, you should say, well, why should I go that far for a person? But the answer is always the same. That's the way it is.
It looks like every time you look at me, you turn away.
I don't know whether the gods like Jack Daniels.
There are particular Irish gods who like Jack Daniels. What's the matter with it? It's good whiskey.
Well, are they going to help you?
There's a god called Finn McCool who's addicted to this particular sour mash. And if you don't take it, I'm going to give it to him.
Well, then you're not going to have me, and you're not going to have nothing to drink either.
It's all right here. You have to explain nothing to me. No, there's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go. Everyone! Stand and bear yourself like the cross, and I'll just receive you.
Bad girl, don't you lie to me. Tell me where did you spend last night? In the pines where the sun never shines, and we shiver with the cold wind blows.
It was a Monday at the Fat Black Pussycat in the afternoon. By then, I'd known Bob, just around in the village. And I could play 3 chords. I could play C, G, and F on the guitar. I couldn't go, strum it, but I could go C, and then G. And we were sitting there, man, having a cup of coffee. And a Monday night hoots at Grudy's Folk City. That was incredible. And there was, a man now who's dead, who was a wonderful man. And Gil Turner. And Bob came in and he had the guitar, so we got a guitar. And he sat there writing and he said, can you play a C chord? And I'd play a C chord. I go C. And then he said, no, go to G, and I'd go to G, and then he'd go to F, and he'd sit there and write. And that was blowing in the wind. And then when it was finished, it must have been about 8 o'clock at night, we went over to Gertie's, where, you know, Folk City, where everybody was there playing. In the Hootenanny, we went downstairs where the musicians went and signed up for their shot, and he went to Gil Turner, and he took this piece of paper, and he took out his guitar, and he sang Blowing in the Wind, and this guy said, Jesus Christ, I've never heard anything like that in my entire life, you know, that's the most incredible song. And he ran up and pinned it on the microphone, got on the stage at Gertie's and said, you know, it's a songwriter, Bob Dylan, you know, and at that time nobody wrote songs, and I'd like to sing this song because this song says a lot, you know, it has something to say. And he pinned it up with a piece of Scotch tape on the microphone. And it was real easy to play. And then he sang the song. Bob didn't sing it, he sang it. And the place went nuts, you know, bullshit, you know. Great song, and Bob was like by the bar, you know, just, you know, it was really wonderful. It was an amazing experience. And that's the first time anybody, to my knowledge, ever heard Blowing in the Wind.
Hey. Yes. Sorry, where are you going?
I'm going in the room here, babe.
You can't, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I have permission to come in, babe.
No, you don't. If you haven't got permission by me, pal.
Well, I'm sorry, I have permission to come in,
Really?
babe. Yes.
Well, by?
By me. By me.
By you?
Who are you?
Hey. Well, I'm just the guy sitting there who happens to say who goes in and who goes out. And I don't know you from Adam, so
I don't
off
know.
you pop.
I don't know you. I don't know you from Adam, babe. Listen, I don't know who you are.
You're not getting by my
You must
pal.
be from England or somewhere. You got some kind of a damn accent. But listen, let me tell you something, Hall. I don't care nothing about England myself. I don't care nothing about the Queen or the Beatles or the Rolling Stones or David Bowie or his lead guitar picker or anybody.
So what you want, pal? Off your pop.
Hoss, listen, I don't want to have any trouble, babe. All I want to do is get in.
I don't want any trouble either, you know, like.
Be gentle.
I am being gentle. You're not getting past my feet, sonny boy.
Well, listen, I want to tell you something, babe. All I want is by here. I don't want any trouble. The best thing for you to do is to let me by.
You're never going to get by me, someone.
So, I can get by Muhammad Ali, is who I can get by. God won't hold me back, so you certainly not going to.
Je suis d'un étranger. L'éclat se zeeën, je suis enchanté. Happy together, life rest to stay. Saga willkommen, bienvenue, welcome to cabaret, oh cabaret, to cabaret. Mesdames, mes heren, messieurs, mesdames, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'm your host, and here we go. So welcome and bienvenue. Welcome to cabaret, oh cabaret, to cabaret.
You say you're a citizen, you pay your taxes, and you don't respect the man of God with the word of God, then something's wrong with you. We thank God for a free country. We have liberty, but they abuse it.
What a waste.
You know who makes the best citizen?
That up, boy, Master, give up to you.
That up, boy, you
Come
need.
here, you stupid idiot.
You need the word of Jesus Christ. I wonder here how many people pray for America. We pray that God would have our President Ford get on his knees and do some cold praying, and the Vice President, the Senators, the Congressmen, all those in the White House. If ever the man of God should pray, it's got to be today and now. Why? The world is demon-possessed, and they tell me they're in their right mind. They're not.
question. Come on. That's all you have. Blessed is the man who loves the Lord Jesus Christ. Cursed is the man that loves him. Christ says, I lead in the way of righteousness, in the midst of the paths of judgment. Go ahead, you child molester. Hey, I heard you did it to Willie's wife. All right, Marty. Keep right up. Keep right up, Marty. Keep right up. Yeah. Got his scum around? Got some more scum, boy? Here, you take it easy yourself. By George, he thinks he can get by with everything.
I got a character witness, Willie. Willie, I got a character witness.
Just a big voice.
Amen.
This boy's not fit to go to hell. They'll have to send him to the lake of fire.
Willie. Yours, Willie.
Yeah. Yeah. They're so brave when they can put out the damn filth. I'll tell you this. Whatever you say to a man of God, you say direct to God.
I got a great suit for $10 once. Anyway, at the brand name. It was a great suit. Hot Chapman and Marks. $10. Really? Old Jewish man suit.
Right.
So, what do you do?
Sometimes you take buses, lose $10, go to the front of the bus, get followed by a black woman, get taken to a church in South Roxbury, where they're picking up plaster off the floor, and she takes her coat off, and she has guignol written all over her blouse, and I'm thinking of some kind of Apache death in Paris. I'm really worried, because I've never been in Roxbury. And I found out today, in the line from a Harvard student, that guignol means clown.
I thought it meant speaking truth.
Well, you know, if you follow Bob long enough, you know, I think maybe you can translate these things.
Yeah.
At last, with you, beyond my remembrance, incapable to guess. Not merely the yellow skull in the grave, or a box of worm dust and a stained ribbon. Death's head with a halo. Can you believe it?
Girls. Or ladies. And you in the bedclothes. Phyllis. Your pocketbook is stuck, dear? I don't know how many have read any of the works of Allen Ginsberg. Have any of you ladies had the pleasure of reading some of Allen Ginsberg's work? Well, we have a few that have had the pleasure. This gentleman is without a doubt a very interesting and clever personality. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Allen Ginsberg.
Ginsberg, those guys? I never saw those guys. They were like myths. The first guy I knew who knew Allen Ginsberg was Bob. I couldn't believe it. You know Allen Ginsberg, really? Wow. You know, everything was so impressive, man. The guy who taught me, Bob would remember too, Kevin Sweeney taught me how to talk hip. I washed dishes in the Gaslight. He was the cook. And he'd go, I'm hip, you're hip, I'm hip. You know, you dig it, I dig it, I can dig it. Can you dig it? I can dig it, that you can dig it, that I can dig it. And he would do that all the time, and I would sit there and wash dishes and kind of pick up on the language, and eventually I could go, I'm hip, that's cool, you know, what's happening? Even today, I still say, what's happening? Everybody would walk around. And, I mean, everyone was there. We'd go in the kitchen in the Gaslight and play. A man named Luke Faust, who plays banjo and guitar, nobody's ever heard of, except his good friends. He never wanted to come out and be, you know, I mean, nobody ever thought about any what's happened, you know? It was all, we were just there doing it. And there was no, we're all going to be stars and things like that, you know? We were just, you know, there to take part in the incredible energy, you know, which Kerouac and all those people had set up. You know, I came to New York, man, to be an actor. And, I wanted to be a beatnik, man. I read about it in Life magazine. I saw a picture of a guy who had bangs with a quote, like something that said, well, life is just a turkey, or life is just a cookie. I was 17. I said, that makes a lot of sense. I think I'll get a black turtleneck sweater and move to New York. Life is just a cookie.
I'd like to have your attention, please. Would you grown-ups stop the children from running around? We're about ready to start the next part of our program. Well, I'd like to ask every one of you to keep the children quiet up there. And all the rest of the people stay back and let our guest eat.
Right corn? What is that? Okay, I'll never have it. Good. Oh, no, thank you. Oh, no, thank you.
We're kind of proud of here. You want some dried corn?
Yes, please.
Come, leave off play, and let us away, till the morning appears in the skies. No, no, let us play, for it is yet day, and we cannot go to sleep. Besides, in the sky, the little birds fly, and the hills are all covered with sheep. Well, well, go and play till the light fades away, and then go home to bed. The little ones laughed and shouted and leaped, and all the hills echoed. Hills echo, and all the 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 hills echo.
Conductor, this train. Can you tell me which way this train's headed?
East.
East?
Yeah.
I've been on this train 6 days.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I have.
Not this one.
Yeah, I just wear different clothes. You haven't recognized me. That's what's going
Except
east,
for
huh?
one thing. This train has only been on the road for about 4 hours.
Well, what happened to me?
I think you get lost in Toronto.
I'm on my way to a wedding, you know. And,
You
a
sure
friend
you
of mine,
haven't?
you knew him in the Navy.
Yeah. Maybe.
I can't seem to get off this train.
Well, you will in about an hour, I'd say.
In about an hour, I'll be there for sure. And it's headed east.
Never missed it yet, that's right.
Any particular city in the east we're going to?
Yes. Possibly the largest one.
But you're not going to tell me, huh?
Oh, no. You wouldn't like it if you knew.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
You are Bob Dylan. We've been waiting for you all night long. You're not.
I'm the master tortilla.
The master tortilla.
And who are you, sir?
I'm just a humble archaeologist dressed up in 17th century garb.
You wear weird clothes, don't you?
Yeah, well, these
Who's
are
your
my working
tailor?
clothes. These are just my fun clothes.
Who's your tailor?
I just got them out of, the racks. They've got warehouses down here that you can get almost anything.
No stories.
We have no time for stories.
I also write of poems and things, too.
You write of poems.
Aye.
Do you write faster than you shoot?
I know as fast as he is. He's be much faster than I am. I ain't try to be fast, I just try to be accurate.
Are you
both
too
with the
fast?
poem and with the gun.
I'm sorry. You can't understand that.
Well,
You
tell
must
me
be the one of
something.
ignorance.
Don't
Not
tell
I.
me something.
Not I.
Don't tell me something.
I don't need to tell you
Don't tell me
anything,
we're
or I
separate.
don't-
It's the night when all the spirits are let loose.
We had all of the things that you people are finally catching up with.
What do you
That
want,
is
a
why
scalp, man?
Indians
Got
didn't
your
scalp.
razor on you? Take a scalp.
Indians didn't scalp until the white man
Take
taught
it,
him
take
how.
it, take it. Hanging on your fringe belt.
Freak, we did not
Talking
take
to a
scalp.
fucking man over here.
That is my son.
Be my mother.
This is my son. And what he knows, I know better.
I have just put both feet into my hideous mouth.
In behalf of the Tuscarora Nation, we have a guest here that I don't see him at the moment. Oh, here he is. This man is going to raise his hand. Doug Boyd. He is the author of the Rolling Thunder book. And we have been working together, and we are writing 3 books, which will be, we hope will be coming out soon. And we've got a lot of research to do, traveling around to the different Indian areas. Our people originally came from North Carolina. In 1711 to 1714, we had a battle down there because our children were kidnapped and sold into slavery. There was a Tuscarora War, and then we migrated north. And we joined the Iroquois Confederacy in 1722. We became the 6th nation of the Iroquois Confederacy. The tribal council here the chiefs are condoled in the ancient ceremonial ways of the Iroquois Confederacy. Clan mothers, which you met some of them, they are the complete authority of that particular clan. They are the ones that raise the chiefs to power, and if a chief errs in his duty, they're the ones that take him out of power. So we have a lot of respect for our clan mothers, and they're the ones that guide our nation. And our people here of the 6 nations have treaties that date back to 1507, 1509, 1511 with the Dutch. We have treaties with France. We have treaties with Great Britain before the United States was ever created as a government. And also the first Articles of Confederation that the infant colonies ever adopted was copied word for word from the Iroquois Confederacy. But somewhere along the line, something has failed. And we hope that this country can straighten out before too long, because there are many things that's going to happen to shape this, not only this country, but the world.
Yeah, there is.
That horn right there, that's it. You throw that up to me? It'd be easy if you roll one of these boxes over, so you could stand on that, so you don't have to lift it so high. And don't step on the cruller. Makes your feet a mess.
You want to go?
That one first, right. Okay. Now be careful, that's hinged, right? All right. And there are two cables. One's gold and one's violet on that box. I'd like both. Very good. Thank you.
In the back here, check out these serial numbers. Some of them don't match up. Check these two amps.
Which ones are they?
There's a couple of twins.
Glenn?
Rouge, man, he wears so much fucking rouge every fucking time.
Hey, what's eating you?
Let's just go. Come on, we've been waiting. You're such a fucking prima donna. We have to wait for you every goddamn time we have to get on the bus.
Just tell Jeff I'm coming. Be right down.
Right. Come on, you can comb your hair at the job, man.
Hey, would you leave me alone, man? Would you leave me alone? Some NyQuil?
No. Okay. We gotta go, come on.
There's something that's eating you, and I want to know what it is before we go.
Nothing bothering me. It's just taking care of you every fucking second, man.
Hey, man, you don't have to take care of me.
Look at this fucking
one
room.
more
We have to carry
second
around
than you
all
want
this
to.
shit, man, because you gotta have it all the time. You don't need any of that shit.
I don't care about it. I don't care about
Look
it.
at your room, man.
Throw it away. What's the real point? What's the real? Why are you? What's the matter?
Let's just go. I don't want to talk about
I think maybe we should talk about it.
it.
And I think maybe
They're already fucking
I think
waiting.
maybe
We're 5 minutes late. Every time this happens, you know, like we gotta sit here while you put on your rouge, put on your lipstick, go over it, do it again, man. You can't find your braid, so you have to wear your fucking red hat, you know. It's really cool, you know.
I don't particularly like, this abuse from you. But the thing is that I also want to know what's really wrong.
Well, I know who you've been fucking, you know. He doesn't give a shit.
Ramon, this is the last time, I swear to God. 3 years, man. A woman needs to have some love. I need some love. And I don't mean just an arm around me. I've had it with your anger and taking it out on me. Making me feel unattractive. Go on, then. If you're in such an anxious hurry to get to the gig. You know what,
They're
I'll
waiting
tell you.
for you. I'm not an
And
anxious.
the fact that they're waiting for me is something that I'll tell you right now. You have not fucked me for 3 years.
Let's see what's so fucking important about fucking.
Let's go.
Anyway.
Get the goddamn guitar. Let's get the hell out of here.
You sit for a moment, you stay for the day, you live for a lifetime, it passes away. I know you're coming, I know your ways. I live for the moment, kisses away, and I'm glad, 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 'cause I need a new sun rising every morning, and I need a new moon rising every night. I was on the lake at twilight, I saw my skirts in the moonlight, I saw blood red spread the sunset, I saw the full moon rising violet, and I was glad. And while you're working, sowing your seed, all in your harvest,